There are two conclusions that I have come to recently upon watching the Daily Wire catalog. One is that nothing could have prepared me for what I had witnessed. Not gazing upon my father's cold, lifeless body. Not the passing of a best friend. Not COVID. Not watching Jacob's and Liam's high school films. No, those did not prepare me. And the other conclusion I came to was honestly, maybe, just maybe, Adolf might have been onto something.
What the what? That's what you came up with?
Yep.
That was the end result.
Adolf might have been onto something.
Oh my gosh.
Howdy. Welcome to another episode of the Couch Gambit Podcast. Thanks for the 2.2K views on last video.
Ooh.
It was nice. I don't know what the like to dislike ratio was because I don't really pay attention to
96% likes.
Oh, really? Well, thanks, guys. As the title hopefully suggests, we're going to talk about the Daily Wire catalog. I am mostly wanting to talk about, their fictional works, though I believe we are going to talk about What is a Woman in its own section, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but first thing we're going to discuss is the first one, Run, Hide, Fight, which was their first release, correct?
Yep, it was their first release. It was
They
not a
didn't make
film,
it, right?
It was not a film that they made. It was a film that they bought the rights for. I believe, and I might get corrected in the comments, but I believe that the first official film that they were responsible in making was Shut In.
Oh, the good one.
Yeah.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Yeah, but it is
but yes, so Run, Hide, Fight. That's the first movie, like the big one that kind of came out for the Daily Wire, or that they got a hold of. And let me just say, the fact that it is the highest rated movie that the Daily Wire owns is fucking insulting. This film is not good. It's like painfully average at best.
What exactly were the ratings on?
It is not the most highly rated film.
Okay.
On, critics,
I thought it was at one point.
No, critics scored it at 30-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. Audience was like 80-something%.
Oh,
Actually,
So-
pull up the ratings for the films, and we can discuss whether or not that's
accurate.
Right.
that's accurate.
Critics might have been onto something.
Yeah, I will say that's the most heavily marketed. Like, I still see trailers and like clips of marketing that film to this day. And every time they're like promoting their films on like the Daily Wire thing, Run, Hide, Fight's like the most important one. By the way, speaking of Daily Wire subscriptions, I made a huge miscalculation error recently. I accidentally bought an entire year worth of Daily Wire content. So I will now be, out of my pure rage, mostly from my own stupidity, but out of pure rage, I will now be endorsing Kamala Harris in this video. So,
Cringe take. Cringe take.
He's a fucking donkey.
yeah.
Oh God. But okay, let's discuss the film and why it fails in many metrics.
And go ahead and pull up the ratings for the film.
I will keep talking. I got it.
So I guess the first thing that really popped into mostly Liam is the one who brought this up, but making like a school shooting kind of like an action flick, kind of a weird and bizarre move.
Incredibly offensive.
I mean, I usually don't use the word offensive, but I could accept the word being used in this regard, I suppose.
Yeah, like was I personally offended by the film? No, not really. But like the whole concept of trying to force an action film concept into a school shooting film is just offensive on its face.
Yeah.
It's just why? Why?
And also, I mean, again, that didn't come to mind, right? The whole like the it being offensive aspect of it. But yeah, no, when you brought it up, like when I just thought about it for like 10 seconds, I was like, oh shit. Honestly, how did any audience or viewer enjoy this film? Because usually people are just super, sensitive to a lot of things. You'd think one about like a fucking school shooting would be fucking like the pitchforks would be out, man.
It's definitely poor taste, especially whenever the cops basically did a Uvalde. And but they're heroes in this movie. Not really heroes. I guess they're more side characters in this movie, but they didn't do anything and nobody like went after them.
Nobody went in.
You've got I don't want to jump into like the spoilers section yet, but I don't know, man. It just poor taste. If it was a really good movie, my opinion might change on it. You made like a subpar movie about school shootings that just none of it really lands.
It also copied the plot of Die Hard.
It was just Die Hard in a school.
Yeah.
Climbing through the rafters and all that.
Yeah,
I mean,
to the point where like near the end of the movie, the main character's like bloodied up and limping the same way that John McClane was limping with a gun. Yeah.
Also, now if this was their intention, well, good on you, I guess. Doesn't change how bad it is. The main antagonist, what a fucking cringy edgelord. The scene that really just got me, I was like, this is so unnecessary and just fucking vile. When he was like forcing the teacher to undress.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, come on. Come on.
Yeah, not to mention that the villain in this film is just kind of your stereotypical philosophical type villain who's just spouting out all these weird like political
Joker.
and basically just the Joker.
He was
subdued a little bit.
He was high school Joker without any good quotes, one-liners, or anything, right? And then also like, a villain spouting like, it's like philosophy, like, cliche, right? Like it can be like eye rolling, right? But when done well, like in like proper context, it can be very intriguing and engaging. But a high schooler spouting philosophy, I can never take that seriously. High schoolers are incapable of really offering any good fucking quotes unless it's an anime. Apparently, in anime, if you're 16, you have the mind of a 30-year-old, like 30-year-old philosopher. Let me say, but this was not an anime. It was just awful, dreadful.
This wouldn't even be good as an anime.
Probably not. Actually, you know what?
No, don't get any ideas.
I don't know, man.
No.
I don't know, man.
To get off that topic, never come back to that. 36% on Rotten Tomatoes critic score, 93% audience score. So the audience apparently loved this film.
No, that's just the audience just trying to support the Daily Wire, starting their own kind of real project. I will not buy into people actually enjoying this film.
Well,
if they were doing that, then you'd see the reviews of Shut In and all the other movies being just as positive.
I don't think the reviews for Shut In are that positive either.
No, but like 93% audience score, that is absurd.
Well, I think it's a little.
And those are the only scores that matter anyway. So
yeah, I think it's a little hypocritical on some conservative parts when they're trying to like defend the audience score above the critic score, and this is some of the films that we positively rate.
Yeah, no, that's kind of a cope rating in my opinion.
Yeah, the copium.
I'm sorry, that is not a real rating. If you were honestly rating the film based on its quality, I think the max you can potentially give this film, the max would have to be like in the 60s.
No, this didn't come out in theaters. It's only streamed on Daily Wire.
It was streaming, yeah.
And only on Daily Wire?
Only on Daily Wire. The only theatrical release was Am I Racist?
Right.
Yeah.
You might be right. That's rough.
My friend and I watched this when it just came out because I had someone that I knew that was playing in the movie. And at the time, I think I had like a fuzzy memory at the time because I don't remember this film being that bad. Because I think I was like positively saying some things like it's not as bad as a lot of people were saying. Like it's got some weird things. But like as we were watching it and I was looking at it as more of a critical eye, it just did not age well. And like again, like the mass shooting element, the fact that you're recreating Die Hard but in like a mass shooting element. Like there's one thing to say that Daily Wire went out to try and create on PC films. Sure. But there's some kind of sensitivity that you need to have with topics that are like this aggressive. There was a guy who directed a mass shooting film. It was called Elephant, I think. It was from the guy who directed I can't remember any films. Anyway, famous director, but that was done with taste. It was done with the seriousness that that kind of movie needed. And for all intents and purposes, Run, Hide, Fight, in probably the worst ways, kind of reminded me of 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah, I almost feel like if you're going to do this successfully, I haven't seen the movie that you're talking about, like maybe a found footage sort of style or something where you don't have... Sorry, I just shook your camera.
Wow.
We have terrible production value.
We're not showing him anyways, right?
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm cutting his.
I pray we're not.
No, I don't know, man. Like I don't even know. I don't know how you would do a like good version of this besides the movie that you're talking about, I guess. How did they how did they do a school shooting movie without doing a Die Hard?
It was in a sense of dread throughout the entire film. Like this felt more like an action movie because it was. They styled it in an action movie sort of way. And that doesn't really show justice to the horrible situation because it's kids.
Right.
Once you involve kids, things change.
Right.
And so now this becomes more of it was a horrifying moment. It was a terrifying build-up to like, you knew this was going to be disgusting. It's more of like a Schindler's List build-up.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so there is a way to do this kind of movie right. And and Run, Hide, Fight just didn't hold that kind of view.
I see.
And it's a freaking shame because there is a way to do this movie correctly.
There were a lot of points where I did not take it seriously. Not even close to how serious a real situation like this would have been.
Yeah, like for some example, even some of the school shooters in the films themselves kind of just had cliche reasonings for doing what they did, and a lot of the time it didn't seem like enough of a motivation to go up and shoot up a school because you had one villain whose motivation is never really clearly explained throughout the film. He just kind of goes on this whole ramble. It's like, oh, yep, your school board voted for that. I was like,
The system failed us.
the system failed. I was like, okay, you're not explaining why you're doing this. And then the other guy was like, people laughed at me in middle school. I was like, so now you're shooting, but now you're a hero because you've been handcuffed for like an hour. And then the other guy's just crazy.
Yeah, well, both
Like,
of them.
Dude, yeah.
Like,
The symbols, is that what he kept like
yeah.
moaning on?
And then the girlfriend, like, why is she doing
She's
this?
just stereotypical goth sort of.
It was like, I'm following my man.
Trying to understand any of the characters was almost impossible because even the main character, like, what was her arc? What was because
getting past
her mother died. But what
yeah.
did this?
Yeah,
what did this do to help her get past her? Also, I was gonna ask you, how many times has your dad visited you?
well,
Yeah, when's the last time you just
so
hung out with him?
both living and dead 0.
Yeah. Oh my god.
No, okay. So the only semblance of like any real character development they had was her getting over her mom, which that's like taking two puzzle pieces that don't go together
Yeah,
and
no,
trying to
it
shove
wasn't
them
even
into
close.
into each other. And then like the whole thing's like, oh, she smashed the head of the deer at the beginning of the film, but now she's showing mercy and
No, that
letting.
wasn't.
What?
I know.
It wasn't mercy. She let him bleed out.
I know, but it's
Yeah.
this weird kind of concept.
So the,
I don't. This is what I'm trying to get to is that it doesn't really make sense. They're trying to like, oh, she like smashed her head at the beginning, and now she's like, oh, but now I'm not gonna do it this time. I was like, but you're just gonna let him suffer and
makes
die.
her-
What's the
Far
makes her
more
sadistic?
Okay, the myriad of reasons why this film fails, by like so many metrics. So, just to really like point it out for any audience member who's watching this and is really too dumb to understand what we're saying. Basically, the character arcs are egregiously just awful or just non-existent, right? Or they just don't make sense for the context of the film that they're trying to convey to us. The dialogue is simply just catastrophic. It is not good. The when the main character, when her dad's like, "You're still fighting a battle, honey, or a war or something," I'm like,
What
who?
war?
Like what? Who just talks like that?
with all the deer.
That's just fucking cringe. There's no subtlety behind it. No layers. It's just trying to fucking beat me over the head with a fucking bag of bricks.
Yeah.
But yes, you were gonna expand upon the whole like what war?
No, yeah, what war? Because even the Lewis, her friend, talks about her being at war and That I mean, it's such a weird.
Again, I think war being like
Analogy?
the
What
whole
is
her
this?
trying to get like past
I
the
don't
like her
understand it.
mom dying or accepting her death or something.
Why is that a war? Explain.
So no,
Explain.
yeah, I mean they don't explain it very well, but like again, it's like I think war as in like the turmoil that she's like experiencing. It's not good. It's not conveyed very well.
That's not the way to help somebody get through that. Is to characterize them as fighting a war. What is?
Yeah, I mean, it's not very good
this?
advice, or you know, it's not a good analogy to give her
Yeah.
at all.
No, it's not even close.
No, yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm just saying, like, that's what they're trying to convey, but they do it very poorly.
It's horribly done.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's see.
And
What-
she cosplays in his army jacket to do it.
yeah,
I was
yeah. When he's like, yeah, no, you're not wearing that jacket or something. Just like, what the fuck? Well, like.
Yeah, and a lot of thematic points that aren't really even tying in together. There's just kind of ideas thrown onto a board, and they're like, we'll see if this works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like further on with the dialogue, so obviously we kind of mentioned before, the main antagonist is just cringy. And if that's the point, well, here's that's bad, because last thing I need is for our main antagonist to be cringy and I can't take him seriously. Right? Because I could not take him seriously whatsoever. And if I can't take the antagonist seriously, then there's not a lot of stakes in this fucking film for me, like whatsoever. None of these antagonists are fucking interesting. They're just one-note villains. That's really what they are. I mean, can you give me like much of a like what his girlfriend's personality was, other than
she wears studs.
She likes eyeshadow.
Oh, also, they were talking as if like they were in the military as they're relaying orders to each other.
Oh yeah,
You
and
know?
it got worse because they kept throwing hints throughout the entire film that they were all sleeping together.
Well,
Yeah, massive orgy.
the,
I
Not
see
the
what
fat
you're
one,
saying.
because
Yeah.
we can't, like, fat
yeah,
people aren't
fat
real people.
fat people don't.
No, they're not real people.
No, like they can't get laid. You know, all fat
Yeah.
people are incels. I'm on a roll.
Literally.
That's good. But
Dead dads, fat shaming. We got this.
here's another I think a scene that actually kind of works in a vacuum, but there's this thing called context, where writers use it to for like point to point like connectors, to where the narrative makes sense. In the scene where the main protagonist is in the bathroom, right? And that girl who gets shot just like fucking stumbles into the bathroom and is dying, right? That scene in a vacuum for the film is actually good. It's actually it's really good. I found her acting like in that scene to be appropriate, right? Like it's a serviceable job where like you can believe that like she's panicking, like seeing this her fellow classmate dying in her arms. Okay.
Yeah, and even the like dialogue following that, where she says, "All I knew about her is that she liked horses," still works.
Oh, that was
effectively.
bad.
No, Liam, no, Liam, you're wrong. Because the reason why is because it's another reason why the
I don't think it's that bad.
It's another reason why the
I agree
dialogue
with
is
you.
fucking shitty. Because you're just telling me about this person who fucking died. Why don't you fucking show me more about her in like at least a scene or two previously, so I could at least see what she is as a person. You telling me how she is as a person, I don't fucking care.
No, that's not the point.
I was following up on the whole like out of context, like that could have worked.
Could you speak into the mic?
I was saying, like out of context, it works as like an individual scene, but they don't show enough to like justify it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that whole like just small little moments like that, even that followed, that was done effectively. Everything surrounding that specific death was done pretty effectively in a vacuum.
Yeah.
But
So I do agree with you.
agree.
But I think her just talking about this girl who died, she's already dead, and you just telling me about her like I don't know her as a person. Again, I'm not saying I need to know her entire life, like her fucking life story, but just give me a bit of character, like in a scene, like just a previous scene, so I get like an idea of how she is, how like showing that they maybe they don't know each other, but they're still classmates and they know each other's names. Something like it's boring, it's uninteresting. And that's what this film is. It's
By the way, the
uninspired.
constant appearances from the mom,
Awful.
just the idea of that is weird and a bit cheesy the way they do it. The actress who played her mom wasn't that good, but also, why did she have a coffee cup the whole time?
Yeah. Also,
Every scene, she had a coffee cup.
almost every film that tries to do this, where they have like an apparition of a character that was in their
Yeah.
life,
You would know.
it doesn't work.
Oh, yeah. They would
It
know.
does.
Jacob and Liam would know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It doesn't work. It doesn't. It never
By
works.
the way, our writing on our short film, is our short film worse writing than Run, Hide, Fight?
Oh, you mean, wait,
Oh yes, that's easy.
which short film?
The one with him being an apparition.
Oh, guys, yours is worse. I know. I was playing it up for the bit in the
Yeah.
fucking intro. I'm sorry. No, what they made in high school is in fact worse than Run, Hide, Fight.
That's
fair.
an easy one.
In every fucking
Yeah.
by every metric.
I just wanted people to know that we were talentless.
That's
Look,
good.
I mean, now Jacob has made films after high school, and actually, like, so I actually think some of them are actually. I like them, but your high school work leaves much to be desired. I've read better fan fiction when I was a middle schooler than the films I fucking watched.
You just don't understand my art, man.
I hope to never understand your art when you were in high school.
I'm a butterfly trying to break away from my cocoon.
Is there anything?
Hinge.
Is there anything else on the movie that we can really talk about?
No.
Yes,
Or is
the
that-
bomb that was in that backpack was like 2 times more powerful than that entire bomb in the van.
Oh, yeah. The explosion should have been
It
more.
Oh, yeah.
it killed 2 people that were walking past the office.
Yeah. Also, like, I love how it's like, so she gets all of them. So when before she drives the van out, before it explodes, right? She has all the students run out the school.
Yeah.
Dude, I was, yeah.
Pushed it right after him.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Imagine if you were Michael and you were slow to run. That car would be essentially just chasing
no,
you.
for real. Why would you reverse it out towards the people running away? You fucking kebab.
Yeah,
or at least
seriously.
dumb walnut.
Or at least now that all the kids are out, just leave it there.
No, or if you really had to fucking drive it, I guess drive it maybe forward more, where there's no one in the building. I
Yeah.
don't fucking know.
What if the cops
Fuck
were
the
there?
school.
I do want to just point out the cops were completely incompetent in this movie, and
Oh, yeah.
and I know that it kind of tried to play it up like they were, but even the everything if you're like since Columbine, you go in whether or not you have one person or a whole squad, you go in and you clear the building, you take care of business. Creating this perimeter that wasn't even effective. The dad went and found a bunch of different points, like sniper points, where they could have set up and just didn't. And the
Yeah.
dad was more effective than the cops who were standing around the entire
Yes.
time.
What
is this?
What year was Uvalde?
What's that?
What year did Uvalde happen? The Uvalde school shooting?
I think it was 22 or 23. It wasn't.
Because this came out in 21. So this was like, I think this was before Uvalde. So I don't think this was an intentional thing. I think they just wrote it badly.
Yeah, no, it is written badly though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, but not only is the dad able to just
Can't say it's not
navigate
real.
past
I
the-
said Columbine for the record.
You did say Columbine.
but not only is the dad, as you mentioned, able to like sneak past all the cops to set up a position for him to shoot or whatever. His untrained daughter does the same fucking thing to pick up a gun that they just left behind. I get it.
Yes.
But well, you're saying there was no one there to keep tabs on like a very important piece of evidence.
And they left it loaded with ammo.
that fucking
and
too.
they don't do that. Just for the record, when they're clearing a crime scene, they unload the guns. That's not something that they just leave lying around.
Let me just say this. The moment here's the thing. So I knew they were going to do a fucking callback to the very first scene where, with the dad's speech about, like, well, let nature run its course or whatever. Right. When she's like, she saw the antagonist like running away. It's like, oh, she's going to somehow get the gun. Yep. She's going to shoot him and she's going to let him like fucking suffer or whatever because, he's a rabid dog. But he doesn't even deserve like the mercy of a quick kill or whatever. And lo and behold, it happens. I'm like, yep, she's going to jail.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this is my last point on this, just as like an extra, just throwing it out there. When you're hunting, you have a knife for a reason. Don't destroy the skull of the animal you just shot. It goes on the wall, and then you
Yeah.
eat the rest of it. But you just crushed the trophy,
Look,
man.
just every
Yeah.
character
Do
in this
that?
film, they're just a bunch of fucking Muppets, okay?
Yes.
They're awful. 5 out of 10 at best.
Nah.
I want to give
yeah,
it a 4.
it's completely average.
Actually, let's rate it a bit differently. The audience score is about a 93%. If we had to
Is
do
it
it out of 100, what is our rating?
50.
Out of 100? We got to rate it out of 100?
Out of 100.
Oh, I think the critic score is pretty accurate. I might actually go a tad. I'll hit
90?
I'll hit 30%.
Oh, okay. 36%. Okay.
Were you about to say I had 90%?
No, I thought you said audience score for a second. I was about to
Critic
say
score,
you're
critic
mad.
score.
No. I don't like this film, right? But it is, even with the problems it has, it's not like a 30% or anything. It's not 30% bad. I think the critics might have judged it a bit too harshly, just because
It's a Daily Wire production.
yeah.
I'm sticking to 30 personally.
I'll give it like a 47%.
I was the most harsh with this film too.
yeah.
But no, let's move on to the next one.
We
unless there's
haven't
anything
heard
else.
Charles's rating, dude.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's lands right at 50%. It's average across the board on every single
Yeah.
point. There's not any of this where I'd call it like bad. It's just if I'm trying to remember anything about it, I have to actively remember it. There's nothing
Yeah.
that stuck out to me.
I do think
Sahara,
the
you
writing's
did good in the
pretty
film, by the way. Just a heads up.
bad. What's the next film chronologically that they released?
Chronologically, I
that they got?
believe it is Shut In. So they're
Yes.
one good,
Now-
really good film.
Palate
Before we
cleanser.
start, what is the audience score on Shut In?
This is stupid. So the audience score is the exact same as Run, Hide, Fight, 93. The critic score is too harsh. It is at 55%. That is ridiculous. That is
Wow.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Shut-in's pretty damn good.
Yeah, because, okay. Listen, I get it. It's a Daily Wire production. The critics got to do their best to make sure they represent a film made by the Daily Wire as poorly as possible. But man, 55% is just dishonest. In my
absolutely.
opinion, that's just dishonest. You're just deliberately being dishonest. And what some of the reasons they provide in the comments is like about the religious elements or something.
Yeah, the religious elements are done super well in the movie.
It thematically ties into the film, and not to mention, people are like, "Oh, I'm bothered by the religious symbolism." It's like she's a former drug addict.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You know one group of people that become super religious once they actually like get better? Former drug addicts. That is very realistic.
Yeah.
So that astonishes me that that's like a primary complaint.
I'm happy to see that there was a film that actually incorporates those Christian elements supremely
the way
well.
that's not
because
cringy.
the way that it's not entirely cringy and plays
Yeah.
into the plot and the character to where it makes complete sense, to where it would have that kind of inner demon with the character, that inner resistance to like the Christ-like figure, Christ, and then just having that actually play into the plot later on. That's perfect.
By the
It does
way-
so well.
One other thing, she's never read the Bible. She didn't read that Bible.
Yeah.
Clearly,
Oh, yeah,
because
clearly
there's stuff
did.
in the Bible, and so it's not like she was some Bible thumper and
No, yeah, nothing like
no,
that.
she carried it around for the symbolic meaning, which is completely fine for a drug addict. I
Yeah.
don't know. Going out this for religious symbolism is crazy to me. All of it ties in perfectly with some old white lady living in the South, and then some old house has the cross hanging up in different rooms and a
Yeah.
Bible laying around. It makes sense.
Even the fruit verse where like it shows it talks about like the fruits of your labor will show like your faith, and it plays an important role into the plot because her character has been trusting this guy or wanting to be like and just allowing him to like ruin her life. And then she eventually stands up to the guy because obviously, like, the fruits of his labor have not shown good faith or produced good fruit. And
Well,
by
yeah.
the end of that, like, that symbolism works perfectly throughout the entire
Well,
film.
yeah, not only that, it also ties into the literal element of using apples for apple butter and kind of tying that back into the whole theme about good fruit and bad fruit and how the bad fruit doesn't make good apple butter and how the good fruit does. It's like, that's actually clever, which I'm very surprised
Genuinely clever.
watching the other Daily Wire films later on, how clever they actually were when approaching this.
Yeah.
And it seems like they were more like involved in this movie than Run, Hide, Fight. So obviously they know how to make a good movie. Were you going to say something?
So unlike Run, Hide, Fight, this film, like the character arc done supremely better. And you know what else is supremely better? The fucking acting. Holy shit. When I watch her on screen, I genuinely can believe her frustration, her panic, her despair. Is that milk?
Yes.
Give me milk. Anyways, no, like, well done. What a great leading performance. And the antagonists, fucking creeps. Well, one is a creep, the other is just a degenerate. Like,
Yeah.
well, they're both degenerates, obviously. But honestly, you know, they're more threatening than what I saw in Run, Hide, Fight. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah.
Even though we can't say the word apparently, but the child toucher, he even though like half the film he just gets shat on and gets his hand stabbed or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I view him as a greater threat than cringy high schoolers
Oh yeah.
in Run, Hide, Fight.
Well, there's a huge sense. I mean, you and I were talking about this like beforehand. There's a huge sense of dread because at this point she's stuck in the closet. By the way, whole point is shut in. She's stuck in a closet while people are like in her house. So at this point, she's already stuck in the closet, and the person who was previously established to be like a child toucher is now in the house with both her kids.
Yep.
And so like there's a moment where it leads up to her like him reaching his hand other to like get some drugs that she's trying to trick him to get. And the booyah hoorah moment of her like raising a screwdriver and jamming it so hard into his hand and continuously hammering it in to like the floorboard,
Yeah.
and his hand gets stuck, and then later on she lights it on fire. I've never
yes.
been so proud of it. Like, by the way, Couch Gambit, we stand behind child touchers getting stabbed in the hand
And set on fire.
and set on
set
fire
on fire.
in that order.
And dying.
And then
And
shot.
dying.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna say,
dying.
and then shot, and yeah.
Yes.
Even if it's by a druggie, I approve it.
100%.
Just in general, whoever does it, I'm proud of you.
Dude, this movie had me rooting for a 6-year-old. I mean, that's what's the craziest
Yes.
part. Whenever, because dude, they build up the suspense with the footsteps and all that kind of stuff. Like, they do it. Everything in this movie is geniusly done. I can't. I don't have enough praises for this. It's probably one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's
Wow.
genuinely that good. If you ever want to go see a $150 movie, this is it. This is the one. No, I mean, even like whenever they leave the house the first time and she is calling out for the daughter and there's just silence and then you hear
Yep.
Mom, it's like, oh, thank God. I mean, you're relieved for this.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, yeah, it really does put you in her shoes, and even with the whole element of the child touching character coming in, when he's stabbed in the hand, even being stuck to the floorboard, he still seems like more of a threat than the villain from Run, Hide, Fight.
Because he actually his words are poison themselves.
it's-
He is actually in her head at times.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And again, like that, it's so intriguing. Like I'm actually genuinely, I was impressed with it. I actually didn't mention this. I rewatched Shut In.
Really?
Yes. Honestly, upon my second viewing, I was less annoyed with the child. Not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah, somewhat. Because my first viewing, I'm not gonna lie, I find just children in films to just, on average, just be fucking infuriating. Just because most child actors just cannot act to save their fucking lives. But upon my second viewing of it, honestly, I got over it, just because, again, it's just my go-to is just to expect the worst from, child actors.
I think they nailed how a kid would react in this sort of situation.
And that's fair.
Accidentally leaving doors unlocked, but then also, like, she comes down, she's like, I locked the door like you said. And like, just stuff like that. It just, I don't know. I think they nailed how a kid would.
And it's
would do.
ultimately better that you don't ever see what's going on outside the door as well, because
Oh, yes.
keeps you
Yes.
in the room
Oh
with
my
her.
God.
Saves money, too.
It saves money as well. No, but because when I watched it with you guys, that was my second time viewing the film. I will say, when did you think the movie was as good, better, or slightly worse the second time you watched it? Because when I first watched it, I was kind of half-heartedly paying attention. I didn't think it was amazing or anything. And then I watched it again, and I was like,
No. So upon my second viewing,
actually pretty good.
Well, actually, I had attained just a greater appreciation for it.
oh yeah,
No, honestly. So because originally when I first watched it, I guess we're using this metric instead of a standard 1 through 10. I would say it was like a 70% for me. Let's say it's like closer to like 78, 80% for me. Like, I think it is a well done film. Like it's great. I really do like it quite a bit.
I think this film is a perfect example of perfecting your premise.
yeah.
Like, all films are hard to make, and that goes for every single one on this list. To give anyone credit, making any film is an achievement in and of itself. Now, that doesn't make your film good or bad. It just means that making a film is hard. But like, having a film that has this kind of premise, to where it's a very indie premise, it's a very understandable, like, it's a budget saving, like, it's only shot in one location, like, it's a very indie premise, but it does everything possible that you could do with this premise, character wise, location wise. Like, she's stuck in a closet throughout the vast majority of the film, but she's not like there are still ways that she's able to get out midway. Again, spoilers a little bit, but she does get out. She does make her way through, and there are so many creative ways that they give her to have opportunities in the closet. Again, she stabs a welcome back from the end. She stabs a child toucher in the freaking hand. She lights him on fire. She gives her kid like the apple juice, or like whatever the frick it was, the apple jam, or that's what it was. Like, there's so many things that she's able to do in this closet. The way that she's able to break out, the Bible, everything that they do in this closet is like, they nailed the premise of the film.
Oh yeah,
perfectly.
and just the whole element of her trying to parent from within the closet is
Yeah.
also just intriguing, because she's actually teaching her daughter very valuable life lessons while not having the ability to be there for her son.
Yeah.
Which I found that endearing.
And you know what? Hey, a strong female lead.
Very much.
Wow.
One that is not cringy.
Example.
One that doesn't have the ability to just straight up overpower men.
Yep.
And one whose character traits are distinctly feminine.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you do a strong female lead.
Oh yeah, like she has to outwit basically the child toucher and then her ex. Was it husband or is it boyfriend?
Boyfriend, husband, one of the two.
I don't remember. If they ever,
Father of her children.
yeah.
Pretty much.
But yeah, like it's. I genuinely, I really appreciate the film, and honestly, I was really like optimistic for the rest of the Daily Wire catalog after I had seen it, and then that joy turned into ash.
Mostly negative from here, pretty much.
Oh my god! But what? One thing I really did appreciate about the film, because and Liam and Jacob can attest this. But when she gets locked in, I was like, see, why the fuck would you have a shite door in the fucking first place, right?
No idea.
Like, it makes no fucking sense. But I somewhat forgave it when at the very end the door is fucking gone,
Yeah,
and I was like, all right. Okay. Okay. A character who also learns her lessons.
Yes, forgivable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ratings?
Oh yes. I guess I can go first. Honestly, genuinely, I'm very close to giving it an 80. Personally, I think I actually think it accomplishes its goals rather effectively, right? Considering what the film is, I mean, it's a good time, actually. It really is. Because it also proves that, like, you don't need a film to have big CGI robots fighting each other or big CGI alien monsters fighting each other to make a good entertaining film, or something that, like something thought provoking, just something, just something simple. And that's fantastic. I think I would give it an 80 personally.
87%.
I'll be honest with you. I would give this probably a 95 to 100%. It's
Cheers, yeah.
freaking close, dude. Because I'm sitting there thinking, like, other than, because those were questions I had in my head of like, where is she at in relation to the people who just walked through the door? Because that is a genuine like bit of confusion I had. to me, the logic that was employed throughout the whole movie made total sense. I think the decisions that were made total sense. The acting was great. The way that they characterized drug addicts as being hyper, especially like on meth and stuff like that, being hyper focused on tasks in front of them, but easily distracted. And especially with like the offering of meth, I didn't think that they went too hard into him trying to force her to do meth, because like at some point it becomes a little comical whenever like somebody is just so bad. Until the very end when he tries to actually inject her, but that makes a little bit more sense. Than just trying, like just starting off with that. Like he just throws a little baggie of meth in there. Her mixing it into his food is fantastic. I love that. A little bit of weird decision making, like whenever she finally got out through the ceiling, I don't know why she didn't just drive the screwdriver into the guy's hand again. Or like cut his finger or something, like to hold him there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I'm willing to say that, like, again, like her main objective, like she's so hyper focused on making sure that she gets to her kids, because I think it had been a while since she had heard from them at that point.
Yeah.
So for her, maybe every second like really just matters to her, and also like to be fair, his hand got fucking brutally stabbed, and he got caught on fire.
Any chance to, rip off a child toucher's fingers.
And I could believe that she would just expect, like, okay, he's out for the count, at least for like however, because also like I think her original goal was like, I need to, get the kids and then get out immediately. But like that plan kind of fell apart.
Yeah, I get it. I don't know. But that was really the only like questionable decision that I can think of that would like impact my score.
Yeah.
I think they did this movie perfectly.
Jacob, now that you're
90.
back, 90?
90.
100%.
Cool.
I'm surprised that they rated higher than me.
Just
He's just 100.
Just
90, dude. I said 90. You can't hear.
Well, you said 87, right?
No, I said.
No, you said 100.
I was like, I said
Get it.
I didn't get it either, I guess.
Liam immediately said 100% right.
he goes, yeah, I'd give it 90%.
No, I thought
100%. Yeah.
I thought Charles said 100%.
This was a failure of comedy.
That's why I was like,
Couch Gambit.
not
I was
100.
just repeating what you
Not
said.
100.
I did say between 95 and 100%.
Yes.
I could.
I'm about 87.
I could
That's
be
a fair
convinced
rating.
that they nailed this movie and every.
Yeah.
I mean, just man.
Hey guys, welcome back from the edit. So we're gonna do something a bit out of order. So we're actually gonna talk about Terror on the Prairie first because it's just boring and we're just gonna like speed run it. Really, what is there to say? Essentially, it's got some good shots. The acting is like average. It's better than run hide fights acting, but it's incredibly slow. The pacing's just kind of bad. It's a bad Western. Or it's an average Western.
To pretty much sum it up.
Yeah.
I mean, like what, 60 out of 100?
55.
Best movie I've never seen.
Nice.
5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's like
Oscar-worthy Gina Carano performance.
yeah. Oh,
No,
geez.
it is a very painfully average Western.
Yeah, like I don't know. I just it's boring, and that's like the most criminal thing about it.
Oh, wait. But Cowboy Cerrone in it, and that's pretty good.
What can I say about the fucking Hyperions? Fucking terrible. Such hot garbage.
Dreadful.
It's catastrophic writing, okay? The sense, like, its style is all over the place, in my opinion. Well, they try, like, doing 2 or 3 different styles all in one? Or
Yeah, I
something?
mean, they have a consistent style that they're reaching for,
Sure.
but they keep changing their mind on exactly what that style is.
Yeah, and also the acting, as a whole, from everyone except for the doctor guy or whatever,
Yeah, me.
is just... Yeah, you, I guess. You don't look like him anymore because you got a
Yeah, I
haircut.
cut my hair. I cut my hair at a bad time for this, but
Just
I
the
look like
opportunity
the
to get
guy.
a photo.
Watch the
of
previous
know.
videos and tell us whether or not Jacob looks like Dr. Guy from Hyperions.
He does.
Yeah, he's just a
100%.
shorter,
Yeah.
somewhat uglier version of him.
Welcome to the Hyperions. It's
No,
not
you
quite.
don't.
Not-
No,
that sounds
nope,
like it.
nope,
I can't
nope.
sound
Never
like
do
it.
that again.
Nope. All right, canceled.
Canceled. But yeah, no, the acting as a whole is just awful. The characters themselves are boring, uninteresting, uninspired, no layers. I guess except for the main character, I guess, because and the doctor guy, but like. Yeah, I guess she has layers in the sense of she has a child that she's trying to save.
A child that they randomly introduced, like,
You know.
like 30 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
Like no implication that she has a child. It's like 30 minutes in, they just mention it through dialogue, which is already violating one of the most essential parts of
Yeah.
making a
It's-
film.
it's
It's like, why are you doing this? Guy's like, for my daughter. Oh, wow. I should have known that. It's
a
stupid.
fine motivation. I don't think that's a bad
dumb
thing to give.
motivation.
Like, no. What do you mean? No,
It's
it's
not-
not. No. It's not a dumb motivation. It's
dumb
it's an understandable motivation.
Yes, it's
a,
dumb,
it's a
but it's
basic
shoehorned in.
It's poorly
Sure.
implemented.
Like I know I don't think it's like it's a it's very cliche motivation. I understand that. It is a motivation. I don't think you can just write that character off because of that. That's not a good thing.
Well, to be fair, it's not even consistent because it's almost like her motivation kind of changes between her relationship with the doctor character and her child being taken. It doesn't even seem like it's trying to be
Should have
consistent.
been more simplified to a revenge film because obviously
Yeah.
the character has something out for the doctor, and if the film was more simplified for a her versus the doctor film, then it would have been way better. But I don't think just like bringing up the child, like saying it's not a bad motivation. It's fine.
Why is the professor, while he's in his little car being driven, why is that playing on his TV anyways? Is like
Self-involved. I don't know.
I don't know.
I wouldn't put it past him to watch himself on repeat.
do you think he's? I personally didn't get the vibe that he was that egotistical about like enjoying watching himself. If anything, he hates. It seems like he hates being on camera.
You think so? I don't know. I think
Well, no, because remember, like his first scene in his scene in the car, he was like, "Why do I have to like do like this press
Oh,
conference
I see
thing?"
what
And like, it just seems like it seems like he's like forced to do it, and he doesn't like doing this part.
Yeah,
of his responsibilities.
There was a lot of inconsistent writing though for
Yes.
all of the characters. I mean, he plays both a clueless genius that's
Yeah.
just kind of out there, but it doesn't really work because
Yeah.
like he's incompetent in ways that even like incompetent people wouldn't be.
Oh yeah.
Eccentric would be, I think, what they're going for when he's not. Thank you very much.
And the film itself looks so cheap. It is like the costumes look cheap. I know you didn't have too big of a hurdle on this, but I think like the costumes look cheap. Also, why were they wearing the costumes when they were breaking into the museum? Was it to make a statement?
No, here's the thing with the costumes being too cheap. Here's the thing. There's some far more egregious sins this film commits, in my opinion. And the cheap
yeah.
costumes, it just seems like a stylistic choice to kind of replicate that whole 60s vibe.
Sure.
So for me, it's not really a point that I'm like
Okay.
too focused on.
Even the Titan badges look fucking cheap and made of plastic.
Yeah, sure, but I can forgive that on the basis that it's going for like
This is supposed to be
old
like-
school stylistic.
I don't think a high tech thing that gives you superpowers would be made of fucking plastic.
Plastic was big in the mid-century. What do you want?
Also,
What do you want me to say?
also, like with how dangerous their jobs are, how do those badges withstand any punishment in their line of work? Because the moment it gets destroyed, they're fucked. I'm just saying. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot wrong with this movie that I mean, if I had to like break it down into broad parts, it would be terrible dialogue, horribly written characters, the inconsistencies in the movies. Oh my god, dude, it's bad.
Like the little
Yes, the cork.
Yep.
work.
Oh my god.
Dude, that whole thing with the cork pissed me off to no end.
Why put so much effort into developing this stuff just to break it immediately?
You know, and you're the one who really mentioned to the group. If you want to kind of expand on it for the people watching.
Love to.
Yes, please do.
So the cork is introduced as a device that shuts down all of their powers. It interferes with their chips and they just can't use their powers in that certain radius. And in the video, it does like one of those little cartoony videos where it shows it as a dome that you can go in and out of, and once you enter it, you lose your powers. It's unclear in the beginning whether or not it was activated already. And then whenever the professor and his lady enter the building,
Maya,
she
yeah.
does click the cork.
Yep.
And oh god, and literally, I think that same scene,
Yep.
as she's walking by, she uses her powers in the museum.
Yep. She teleports a random guy, which, by the way, I thought her power was that she
Right, yeah, that's the other
teleports,
part.
but she teleported the guy to the fucking top of the room, which, by the way, like, why there and not teleport him, like, in front of all the cops?
Yeah. Well, she also, and they're not even clear on, like, how this works, because she teleported the chair with him.
Yes.
But then he had his foot on the column, and it didn't teleport the column. Didn't teleport the building on the roof of the building. I don't know how this works, man.
They literally just forgot about the cork as soon as they used it because they don't even bring it back up.
Oh.
No.
Like she just presses it. It doesn't. Nothing happens. Like she still uses her powers, and then the cork is never brought back up.
And she's
It's just out of the film.
well, and she identifies the chip as not or being a fake. Identifies it being a fake because her powers didn't work, but her powers shouldn't have worked because the cork was still activated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy.
And now for people who are like, well,
This is incompetent.
oh yeah. Well, now for people who are like, well, obviously they probably turned the cork off when he was like, no, like off screen. It's like, no, you should just give me a scene where they fucking.
Why would they have?
No reason to.
Yeah, they were still trying to shut down Maya's powers.
Well, no,
The whole
I meant,
time.
like, if
Why-
she wanted to test the badge for when she was trying her powers or whatever.
But why would she? Maya still could have stopped her from using the chip if that was the whole thing.
No, I agree, but like the point is that like I guess she wanted to insert the badge and I guess start using it.
Sure.
So if she wanted to start using it, why would or even like it doesn't make sense for her to try to use her powers when the cork is still on, right?
Right.
We're on the same
No,
page.
but plug it in, then turn it off. But it doesn't make sense to be holding the chip in your hand, turn it off,
Oh,
because
fair-
that's the moment
No,
Maya
no,
comes
fair
in and
enough,
wrecks
fair
her
enough.
shit.
No, that makes that okay. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
It can literally just be as simple as like, this is basically a new team. They can have new devices, and the cork doesn't work. You can literally make it that simple.
Oh,
Like lazy. That would still be lazy. Don't get me wrong, but that would be profoundly better than just turning it on and then just throwing it out of the movie. Like just something.
also backtracking a little bit. Can we all agree that Maya's fight is fucking atrociously bad?
The
When she's fighting,
effects and-
was she fighting?
yeah.
Was she fighting Germans or was it?
I think it was supposed to be Germans. Yeah. Oh wait, yeah,
Yeah.
because they were in Germany.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
that. Yeah, and I think yeah. Okay. So that whole fucking fight sequence.
Embarrassing.
Disgusting.
Just bad writing,
Dreadful.
bad everything. It starts off with a guy getting shot as they're looking. They open up the door and they're looking around the room and they don't notice the guy that's pointing a gun at them actively. What is this?
And I love how like that kid is so incompetent that's like he just does nothing. He could turn his skin to fucking steel apparently, but he's just like
He's not really brought back in the film
yeah.
after a certain point either.
No, oh yeah, like what? It's just another wasted character. Who cares about him?
What were Ares' powers again?
We never. I don't think it was ever
Oh
established,
my
was it?
god.
Yeah, I don't think Ares was ever established.
What are we rating this?
Fuck, like 30, maybe
7.
7.
Percent? Fair enough.
Yeah.
This is one
7.
of those movies that I would put into the category of like offensively bad.
Yeah, true.
And
True.
That automatically gets it to like 30%, and then just the level of effort and the inconsistencies and all that just drop it down probably to 25.
You know, and honestly, even like the last scene they shared, like the last scene where the professor gets like injured or something.
Oh
Why is it
my
that they
God.
all took like 2 forevers to notice that he's injured in the museum? Also, why on God's green earth did we decide to have that sweet tender moment between father and daughter, at his fucking manor, when it would have been much more impactful of a fucking scene if he's literally like on the cold floor in the museum fucking dying, and basically like she you have the scene where he can't speak because he's lost his voice or something, and fucking he does the same thing where he goes for Vista's badge. I was trying to remember her name. Vista's badge. To do the whole like he wants to at least tell her that he loves her or whatever.
Oh,
if not
yeah, that was
vocally,
so-
then through the mind reading thing.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, like the way it's done is bad, and like as cringy as it was, like it would have served a better purpose if it was done if he was actually dying, like he was going to die, as like a proper send off.
Yeah, that was just the middle finger to the face at the end. Yeah, 20%.
I'm with it
remembering
too.
that. Drop that.
Jacob.
I'm going 50.
50?
Average?
I do no. What?
50% is
50
average.
He's average.
Yeah, I'm hitting average. This is way better than Run, Hide, Fight, in my opinion. I really appreciated what the film was trying to go for. I just shut your mouth. I can see what the film was trying to go for. I appreciated the element. I appreciated the first 30 minutes of storytelling. I know
What
what the
story
film
were
was
they
trying
telling?
to.
What was the story, Jacob? What was the story for the first 30 minutes?
Storytelling. I'm not 100% sure what the story was.
That's part of the storytelling.
What was the critic score for this in the audience?
There was no critic score for this. It was an 87% audience score and no
Wrong.
critic score.
Wrong. Incorrect. You're stupid.
It is like
So I'm getting the film 90%.
okay.
No, the film. I appreciate that the film was attempting a style. I feel like in many ways the style actually succeeded. The problem is there was far too much of an attempt of a style rather than an attempt of actually establishing general. And also there was far too much going on. There was too many characters that were introduced, too many characters that were wasted in the film. The sidekick guy that just got shot at the beginning, the random boyfriend that ended up being the surprise villain, the child didn't need to be there. It should have been just an easy revenge film. But they simplified the story and kept the style consistent and made it a story between a father or a strange father and a daughter situation. That would have been a much more compelling story. I don't mind the cheapness because I know that's what the style was going for. I don't mind the cartoony vibes because it's just what this film was trying to accomplish. I don't mind a film going for the style, but the way that it was implemented in the film was not the best.
Sure.
The placement of many scenes was awkward, and there was just too much going on that by the end of it, I just didn't care. But I'm still giving it a 50% because I didn't hate watching this thing.
Oh, dude, I hated every moment of it. The only movie that was worse was
I almost had a heart attack.
I'm sorry. You were complaining that every time we'd pause it,
I was complaining
it
because
only
I was
been
trying to defend the movie, and the movie was stabbing me in the back.
Well, yeah, exactly. I was about to say because
Yeah.
you even admitted that like the movie kept proving you wrong time and time again.
Jacob, you're my best friend. I care about you.
Don't do this.
You're also one of my best friends, Jacob.
Jacob, I love you.
You're
I
a
love you. I
friend.
love you. I love you. I love you dearly. I love you dearly.
I love you, Charles.
Jacob, I love you dearly. I'm just concerned about what giving it an incorrect opinion might do for your soul.
You're
All right.
vegan. Your life is an incorrect opinion.
Let me also say
It's not as bad as this movie.
but yes, I will be happy to move on to Lady Ballers so we can just execute it, and just put it down like the rabid, disgusting, filthy mutt that it is. Lady Ballers is truly fucking dreadful. I did not laugh a single fucking time. It's supposed to be a comedy. If you can't make me laugh, you have fucking failed your objective! The primary objective! Fuck! Oh my god! Give me a moment. Who wants to start us off? Because let me formulate my thoughts on why I hate this film.
It's a pretty good film.
Not another bad take, Jacob. I don't think I can
I
handle
won't allow this. I'll allow Hyperions. I won't allow this.
it. No.
No, I'm sorry.
Actually, you know what? Mikey apparently. Mikey, okay, you're the one who's probably going to be defending this apparently.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
No.
So why is
not
it
gonna
why is
defend
it better than Hyperions? Why do you think it was not as bad as we're making out to be?
Because it didn't completely fail at what it was trying to do. Other than make you laugh, which is kind of the point.
Yep.
But it would make. It has an audience. I think that's where it is. It has an audience, and it has an audience of 45 and up, middle to upper class white people. like Christian
It
conservatives.
sounded like liberals over here. Holy crap.
Oh no! And this is
It
a
has
movie.
an audience for like white people. Oh man.
It has a very
Swear.
very specific audience. The apples to apples crowd. Like we're talking like the milk toast upper. Yeah, no, this has an audience that would probably laugh at it. It's incredibly boring for everybody else.
Right. Okay. You know what other show had a very specific audience for?
Okay, I don't consider Jacob to be a very specific audience. He's an anomaly. All right,
I was gonna talk about
Hyperions.
Acolyte, being
Garbage.
garbage.
Gotcha. No, I thought you were going for
No.
Hyperions.
No.
Hyperions doesn't have an audience. That is just a
doesn't
bad
deserve
movie.
an audience.
It doesn't. No.
Neither and Lady Ballers should never have been made.
I agree with that. Hyperions should have never been made, and even though it shouldn't have been made, it was made by the wrong people still.
Lady Ballers basically just takes the same joke that South Park did like 8 years ago,
It makes it unfunny.
and then just makes it longer and somehow unfunny.
Mm-hmm.
South Park did it way better. Like it's the same joke. It's just men and women's sports obviously being men and then crushing it. We already know that's like the reality, and yes, we all laugh at it. And you know what's so messed up is that you make something so absurd so unfunny.
Michael,
Like-
lean back down to where you were. You look weird on the camera now.
Well, he still looks weird on the camera.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
Well, he looks fat on the camera now. Now he looks
Jesus
at least in
Christ.
frame.
Hey, the camera adds 200 pounds. All right.
And it adds
What
girth
does real life add?
How did this happen?
because unlike the movie, your weight is funny.
All it does is it points out a problem and say like, hey, you know about this? And then it doesn't deliver a joke from that.
No.
Like there's no reference points of comedy in this film. There's just like, hey, this is stupid, right? Right. And then that's it. They move on.
It's a woke movie for conservatives.
Yes.
That's exactly.
The reason why I find Lady Ballers especially insulting, right, is that I thought the original purpose for Daily Wire wanting to get into filmmaking or whatever was to deliver on projects that were just about telling a fucking story, right? Just having us enjoy a movie without having to worry about stupid fucking politics being shoved down our throats. But that's what this film is, what Liam just basically said. It's a woke film for conservatives, right? And again, for people who you think, people like myself, where the only reason why I don't like politics in films is because, it's the woke agenda that I don't agree with. No, I just don't like having politics shoved down my throat in any fucking film. The reason why I, Am I a Racist or What is a Woman is more acceptable is because it's a documentary, and I don't have the same passion for maintaining film, the craft as I with filmmaking that I do for a documentary thing, or I don't know.
Because the documentary is just trying to show something, reality of something. When it's in a movie like this, it just feels like you're just saying your political opinions,
Yes.
and you just want people to
Yeah.
know your political opinions, and that's why it's so obnoxious to watch. Because you're like,
Oh, yeah.
especially if you're watching a Daily Wire film, you already know what the political opinions of the people you're watching are. You can take a wild guess. So it's absurd that they're just sitting here basically trying to preach to their own audience in a way that
Yeah.
many Hollywood movies try to preach to their own audience. It's annoying because it's exactly like when a character in a woke movie's like, yeah, you know what? I'm so sick of this sexist, racist society, and you're like, shut the fuck up! Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, honestly, and this film also just really cements that conservatives also cannot make movies.
No, this this is absolutely when you get those upper middle class. I'm just going to keep on going back to this upper middle class Christian white people sitting around the dinner table making, trying to be edgy. And
Yes.
it falls so flat because their level of edge is just so far below the.
They never go as far as they should, and this was supposed to be
Right.
some kind of raunchy comedy, super bad, but it never reached that level at all.
That's what's so weird because the sex scenes and all that kind of stuff was actually, I was sitting there like, wow, this is really fucked up. Like not even in a. Like, this is. I really don't want to watch this. This is kind of gross. But then in the opposite direction, when they're trying to be edgy, like with political commentary and all that, it falls completely flat. So it's either gross or just doesn't really do anything for me.
Yeah.
And they never meet that sweet spot right in the middle.
And also, I think probably one of the worst offenses about this film is that just the cast and the world itself is just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Everyone's dumb.
Yep.
No one's likable, really. Even though, didn't they do like effects on the coach guy in the start of the film?
On Jeremy Boring,
It's
yeah.
kind of weird de-aging effect.
Yeah. Was it digital or did they do makeup?
It looks like makeup to me.
I think they did some de-aging.
I don't think they have the budget for like doing CGI de-aging.
No, I mean, well, Daily Wire is a pretty like out there company. I will say, like this movie, like the budget of it, like there's a scene where the audio quality, it seems like something that would be shot in high school.
Oh yeah.
Like the boom was like 7 miles away, because when they start talking in like the auditorium, and he starts giving his speech, like it sounds so muffled, and you know that there's like 6 audio effects on top.
Yeah,
of
it's
the
kind of
actual audio.
canned.
It's so bad.
And it made me, and it was like, kind of made me raise an eyebrow. I was like, were you just that lazy? Did you not bother checking the audio and making sure that you were actually going to get a good take? Because it's especially, the movie's already bad enough, but then you're going to have a moment where you're going to like just have audio just be absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
Also, the performances were all they were terrible across the board. Like Matt Walsh as what was his character's name?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
Hippie guy.
Hippie guy. I just cringed every time I saw him on screen.
There was only one good thing about that, and it was he felt like the only character that was like playing a genuine character. Everybody else looked like they were just an act. And then at the very end, it's revealed he's just putting on an act, anyways. And it's like I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I just
Oh, I almost forgot about that. Actually, yeah. That's
That
right.
was
Walsh
a little
does a
dumb.
very good deadpan, but it only works in like certain scenarios. Like in Am I Racist? Like that worked because he was playing a very specific character. In this, like he actually has to kind of like somewhat act a little. Like he has to actually like embody the character.
Yeah.
And all you can see is just Matt Walsh in a bad wig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I see.
But Jeremy, like what's his Jeremy Boring? Is that his name?
yeah.
Yeah, but Jeremy Boring, like he has one note throughout the entire film. He doesn't change emotion once.
It's Jeremy Boring.
It's just Jeremy
Yeah.
Boring.
Yeah. And before, oh my gosh.
Oh, the reporter. It was. I think there was like one joke that you guys kind of liked from the reporter chick, which was the rape whistle.
Oh, wait.
Oh
That
yeah,
sucked.
Oh, yeah,
That was a
I-
terrible
I
joke.
I didn't laugh at it. They said it was,
I didn't really laugh. I just kind of giggled.
like say the joke.
Okay.
Liam, say the joke.
I don't remember the joke. It
They could have.
wasn't that great.
She blew her whistle to like to signal everybody else. It's like, what's that whistle? Like, it's my rape whistle. And like, I thought that was
I
funny.
was like, yeah, okay.
Then
I
the
think he
one-
said, "Oh, you have a coach's whistle."
that's
Oh,
what
yeah,
it was.
Coach
She's
said
like-
like, no, it's my
That was
rape
rape
whistle.
whistle.
Like,
And then
I
he's
thought that
like,
was
"Oh,
funny.
that's not. Oh, that's exactly what it was. Oh, you have a coach whistle. That's funny." And she's like, "It's a rape whistle." And he's like, "That's not as funny." It's like if they had done the reaction better, then that joke might have
I
landed.
agree.
For sure,
Or
yeah.
just like cut the reaction.
Well, yeah,
because
that's-
just her saying that works.
That's why it wasn't like a particularly laugh out loud joke for me, is because it didn't really land. But it's like,
Yeah.
okay, they tried.
Or you have
I
to
didn't
bring
need
back the whistle.
to
Yes,
say
bring
yeah,
anything,
I went more like,
but that would imply.
No, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah,
the
it
only
would've
moment
been-
I even
If
chuckled.
he had come up to her like during the very last match or something and like grabbed her shoulder or something, and then she blows the whistle, that might have landed. Because that's her rape whistle.
Right.
Maybe.
So she
Or maybe
doesn't
he
want him
blew the
touching.
whistle because she's getting too extreme.
That's it. That's
Yep.
the joke.
Mm-hmm.
That's
we
the
go.
joke.
That's the joke. No,
That's
that's
the
the
joke.
joke.
I'm not even a good writer, and I wrote
100%.
better jokes.
That's a good joke.
100%.
This movie fails in many regards when it comes to joke, and I think the most offensive joke in the film is when they try to drop a Jeremy's razor right in the middle of
Oh
the
my
film.
god.
You didn't earn that. I'm sorry.
In theory, if this movie was better, they could have pulled something off. But this movie,
I don't even think they could have gotten away with doing that. Even
because
if the movie
Deadpool
was-
does that stuff all the
I
time.
was about to say. Well, I don't think that
This
Deadpool
is not
could've.
Deadpool.
Well, no. Imagine how funny it would be if in Deadpool it was just like a random commercial for like Aviation Gin or something, or like Mint Mobile or something. That would be funny.
Yeah,
I feel like that would be funny.
Deadpool is a
See, you're
movie
smart,
where
you're
that
starting
could
to
happen.
smile. It would be funny.
That's a movie where that could happen. This is not.
Well, like I'm
This
saying,
movie
like,
has
well,
nothing to implicate that.
no, I'm saying like where if this movie like implemented like maybe more fourth wall breaks or was just better, I would have let
Yeah.
that slide. But this movie wasn't even good, and like you said, it didn't earn it.
So let me say this. So if you thought that my rage for the random fucking exposition in Hyperions could not be eclipsed, when I saw that fucking commercial in my fucking shitty movie, my blood pressure fucking spiked, okay? I was so fucking angry. I wanted to actually split your TV in twain.
See, they could have
For not doing that.
You're welcome.
they could have thrown in the Jeremy Razors thing in the actual car company, or like the car sales company commercial. Like when they did,
That would've
the
been more
commercial,
forgivable.
they
Oh,
were
yeah,
doing
no,
like
that
the
would
bail
make more
bonds
sense.
and barbecue.
Yeah,
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 that would've made more
would've been-
sense.
That makes sense. That in that context it makes sense, but
But just to drop it in randomly after a guy says, "Oh yeah, I shaved my face with this Jeremy razor," then just goes like, "Ah yes, Jeremy's razor." Like, no, 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 no,
It was
no,
too much.
That was bad. That was really bad. There was one part that I laughed at, and that was when they were playing t-ball, and he just smokes that 6-year-old in the stomach.
oh yeah.
God,
Yeah.
that one I actually laughed at. That was the
I-
only
Oh,
moment.
the one moment where I think you and I were both laughing is when what is his name? Oh my gosh,
Michael Knowles?
Michael Knowles says,
He's
"How?"
like, "How?" I was like,
Oh.
"That's just okay." Listen, I found that funny because I find Michael Knowles just to be a little like goofy.
So, and,
Yeah.
So like when he does that, yeah, I got a little chuckle.
So what's interesting is that this film, I guess, almost got each of us once, right?
Yeah.
But they were for different scenes and for different reasons. For you, it was the softball one.
Yeah, yeah,
For you
'cause fuck
guys, it was
them
the
kids.
owl. For
me-
me, oh, I'm sorry. What were you?
Or for me, it was when Brett Cooper said, "Somewhat is my slave
Oh,
name."
yes.
Yeah.
But for me, just because of the sheer fucking absurdity of it, and the fact that like I never thought I would ever hear Ben Shapiro, first off,
yeah.
utter such words, and also be a ref. While still wearing his fucking yarmulke. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Everything with Ben Shapiro, I was just like, you almost had me. But that's just because I find it funny, like almost funny, ironically.
There is also a little extra depth on that because he talks on his show a lot about. He makes jokes about. He's like, I can never just like identify as a basketball player. I'm a 5'4" Jew. I'm never gonna be LeBron James. It's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to have him reffing a basketball game, it would have been really funny if he was actually playing.
Ben
But-
Shapiro looks pretty muscular in real life.
dude, yeah, he's.
Oh yeah.
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 If for whatever reason, like whenever they had to face off against the other male team, it was all the black guys. But it's if it was all black guys, but there's the leader of the team was Ben.
Dude, yeah, it would have been pretty.
No, if I saw that actually would have broken me in a good way.
Yeah.
Ironically, a good way.
I thought the way that they handled the ending was kind of cute when they brought out all the, the
children.
kids.
Oh,
And it was that's fine, I guess. But whenever you're trying to make it a reflection of reality, that's where it kind of falls apart because this is happening. And so they're trying to like make a play on how it's the logical conclusion of identity politics, but it's like we're seeing it not play out that way. And so like knowing that the only reason that it looks like this in the movie is because it's exactly how conservatives think of wokies,
Yeah.
and that's not actually how it's happening. It just kind of takes away from the whole.
Also, as for like a couple of things, like the silly things that happen in the film that just don't make sense to actually happen, like in the film's like actual like world or like in universe is like, remember I think the second last player they were trying to get, who was out in the wilderness or the woods or whatever. The way like they did the Predator fucking vision thing.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was like, what am I fucking looking at?
It was so bad.
What is this garbage? Also, why the fuck does he have random explosives, like explosive traps, just fucking out there? How did he get it? Did he steal them? I kind of want to see that actually. And then he's a criminal because he has a guy in the mascot costume underground tied up.
Oh yeah, he's not a good person.
Yeah,
Like, he
he's a
left him there.
criminal.
Yeah, that was just the whole. I was hoping for something more than just a mental breakdown over a badger mascot humping the air. What was the badger humping?
That was never funny. It never made any sense.
And as soon as when they asked him, how many badgers have you killed? And he's like, all but one. It's like, okay, there's the joke.
Yeah. And another point where the absurdity just doesn't make sense or it just doesn't work is when the reporter she apparently has a sniper rifle trained on our main character, and I'm like, what is happening? And then he ducks and like what a delay, by the way. He fucking ducks, 1, 2, fire.
Yeah.
And hits a blue. It's like, what the
Dude, well, not only that, just to throw in the inconsistency here. So she walks in with the other coach, right? Mm-hmm. And the coach walks up to Jeremy Boring, and Jeremy's like, these aren't, and they have that interaction, and then he's like, she's got a sniper trained on me. Well, she was just standing there, but then it shows that she's also the one up in the rafters. It's like,
yeah, because at first it's like, are they implying that like she hired a sniper to like,
right, exactly,
right? That's what I thought at first.
That's exactly.
But then like,
too. But then she's actually the one up there.
But she's actually the sniper. Yeah, like it just doesn't work.
No.
The joke falls fucking flat. All right, score time. Who wants to start us off? What score does everyone want to give this gem of a
8.
film? 8. Okay.
7.
7. Mikey, what
6,
are you want? Are
5.
you wanting to give it like a 20?
90.
3.
2.
1.
Come on, Mikey.
Magic School Bus? Oh, that wasn't even it. I messed it up.
And that.
What?
That's just please move on.
Somehow you
Out of
made a worse
blast.
joke than
Got it.
all of
God
Lady
blast.
Ballers.
That's what I should have said. Dang.
There you
Sorry,
go.
Charles.
No, somehow y'all have just come up with a joke worse than every single joke in Lady Ballers.
No, I just fixed his joke for him. You were thinking of Jimmy
Yeah, I
Neutron.
was thinking of Jimmy Neutron, not
You
Magic
gotta-
School
Yeah,
Bus.
yeah, you fixed it with duct tape and it barely works and
know.
functions.
I'm trying my best.
It was a bad joke when I had to fix it for you.
Man, if only
It's
y'all
still
had been there.
crumbling.
It's
If
still
only y'all had been
crumbling.
in the writing
I'm
room.
gonna edit it to make
It's
it
a
look like I did it.
No, no,
You can't do that.
no.
Are you gonna AI your face on me?
I'm gonna do vegan face.
Okay,
7.
so 7,
8.
you're 8,
Are y'all doing out of 100?
apparently. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, out of 100.
40. I'll give it a 40 out of 100.
Oh, now you're gonna be the dissenting opinion.
It's still below average.
It's worse than below average, but okay.
Michael.
Well, because let me ask you. Well, because all right, my rating. It's fucking 5. It's a fucking 5. Okay, like ow.
By the way, the critic score for this was 43%. And actually, hold
Too
on,
high.
audience, I gotta figure
Too
this
high.
out.
Nailed it.
The audience.
No, you were 3 points off.
I gotta figure this out. So I remember the audience, this critic score.
Okay, because here. Okay, so you want to give it a 40 because it's below average. Okay.
88%.
Nope.
audience score.
Nope.
Oh,
nope.
Dude, I'm telling
Nope.
you,
You're wrong.
There is an audience for this.
Wrong.
Just because there's an audience for it does not mean that it justifiably deserves. First off, the score it was given, nor does it mean that it deserves extra points because there's an audience for it.
I
No,
never
that's not what I'm saying. I'm
Well,
saying that
but-
that's
but-
why it's better than Hyperions.
Listen.
Because there's an audience for it.
Yeah, Hyperion. Yes, it is better than.
No,
yes, because Hyperion. I hate. Neither of these movies landed for me, but there is still an audience for Lady Ballers when Hyperion just doesn't have anything.
But I don't know if it justifies giving it like an extra 20 to 30 fucking percentage points.
Maybe not, but that's why I'm putting it above Hyperion's.
And you know what? Again, I can accept that, but I don't know if I can accept the 40.
No, that's a little too high.
Because if I may make my point, basically,
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, its primary like the primary thing it's trying to accomplish is to make you laugh, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Even though the jokes are for a specific audience,
No,
in fact-
yeah. I'm not putting myself in the shoes of that.
no,
audience.
right. But like, but none of the jokes landed for us. And again, you'd think that there would have at least been 1 or 2 jokes where like it catches us off guard and we're like, oh, that's actually kind of funny, right? But it didn't even do that. And again, humor is subjective, to be fair, right? But fuck, man, even the comedic timing, it just doesn't land.
Yeah.
Like it fails as a comedy, and so it's worse than below average. It's just a mediocre to like bad film. You think if Lady Ballers 2 is a better constructed film than Hyperions, I can respect that decision or that your thought process. I mean,
it does highlight the absurdities of gender politics, especially in sports and all that. It just none of the jokes land. Man, I agree. It was not funny, not in the
just
slightest.
give it a 30 and we can move on.
All right, a 30 is fine.
Okay,
All right,
excellent.
understand.
We did it.
All right.
We accomplished what we set out to do.
I'm giving it a 50.
No.
No,
Sorry, it's an 8.
even as a joke, you cannot do this.
It's
Do not
too
do
late.
this.
It's going to be on the podcast.
There's the So conclusions on the Daily Wire and their filmography.
So conclusion. Just because you gave us one really good film, actually, that does not forgive the fucking war crimes that I was forced to watch. This was an insult to my intelligence, to their intelligence. This was I wish I could get a refund for the time I wasted, for the money Jacob wasted, and for the time that everyone who isn't us wasted watching your awful films, other than Shut-In. Shut-In's good.
Go Kamala Harris.
You fucking donkey. You fucking donkey.
Shut-In shows that they can make a good movie because they were directly a part of the making of this film.
And that's
But dude, conservatives and movies, it's shown very evidently in the Daily Wire films why they don't mix well.
to be fair, like if they took an approach like Angel Studios has with their religious content, Angel Studios still has at least a couple of good films under their belt
quite a
and a
few.
really good series under their belt. If they just did more of what they did in Shut-In, where they focus on the religious themes, that would probably be more appealing to a mass audience outside of just the conservatives. And I think that would ultimately prove to be more effective in their films going forward. But as it stands, it's most of their films are just either plain bad or woke for conservatives.
Yeah, no, I think that they made a bunch of movies that don't challenge their own side at all and just clown on the other side at best. I mean, that's what it was with Lady Ballers, at least. I have no idea what Hyperions has to do with like conservative media and movie making.
It's just a terrible movie.
It's just a bad movie. It's not many values shown in that one. And I don't know. I wish I had seen like commentary of what they were trying to do with these movies.
Actually, that would have been actually super enlightening.
Yeah.
Just so I try to understand what they were really wanting to accomplish with some
Yeah.
of the decisions they made for the narrative and like some of the shots and all that.
Because if the point of Hyperions was to make a movie that was just absent of woke nonsense, then okay, fine. Yeah, but trying to like make a conservative studio that shares like Christian values and well, I guess Jewish values too. But it just falls flat, and it falls flat because Christians and conservatives, I don't think, are very good at challenging themselves generally. And that's just that's that's all of it for me.
No, for sure. Jacob, any closing thoughts?
Nope, my camera's dead, so let's go.
Oh boy.
Oh, well, okay then. Well, yep. So overall, Daily Wire like really just failed on like many metrics. But they got one good one.
Yeah.
They got the good film.
Dude, Shut-In, great movie.
Yeah, one great one.
Yes, true. Now, I don't know if we mentioned in the very beginning, but obviously we did not address What is a Woman, or anything like any of like other documentary style of content. I haven't really seen any of it, so I wouldn't, or other than What is a Woman. But I'm not very good when it comes to trying to, critique any of their documentary stuff. It's just information being given. But yeah, overall, I was less impressed with what the Daily Wire delivered. Hopefully the Pendragon Cycle, I think it's called, right?
Yeah.
That they're making. Hopefully that will be of similar quality, if not greater than Shut-In. I hope that is the case.
I know my camera's dead, so just bear with me. But I've watched a lot of behind the scenes of the Pendragon Cycle. It looks like, at the very least, you can say that they have a team of people who are killing it and trying their hardest, and the production value looks pretty impressive. That doesn't mean it's going to be good, though.
For sure. But yeah, look, I'm going to be properly, like I'm going to expect, the proper amount of excitement for it, which is, I will hope it's good, but I will not hold out a ton of hope for it. But I am willing to be pleasantly surprised and, dare I say, amazed at hopefully what will be a fantastic, is it TV show or movie?
TV show.
TV show.
It is TV show. Okay. Yeah. So, anyways, if for whatever reason Benjamin Shapiro, I'm not going to say that. If for any reason Ben Shapiro or anyone from the Daily Wire is watching this, you're not. Just know that we still support you guys somewhat. Just
forced to monetarily for the next 9 months.
Yep. Just please,
Vote Democrat.
no, Jacob.
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Cringe. But just we're hoping that you deliver some better products, because man, we could have even talked about the Bertram Show, whatever it's called, and that was also terrible. We couldn't even finish that. But we're gonna end it here. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you guys have a great day, night, whenever you're watching this. Go fuck yourselves. We're out.